right, in round two, we are going to do a classic right around here. It's called Play Shelf Trade. And by the way, we've had a lot of new subscribers lately on the show, so I want to just give you a little, those of you that might be brand new, to give you a little heads up on what Play Shelf Trade is. It's well, you may be familiar with the game from the playground called Kiss, Marry, Kill, and maybe go by some other names as well. But anyway, it's like that game, but we're talking, and not instead of potential mates, we're talking about board games, of course. And each time we play, we present three different games. We'll go around the board, letting each contestant tell us which game they want to play right now, which game they consider a lifelong keeper worthy of sitting on the shelf, and which game they go, I guess if I have to trade one away, it's going to be this one. So with today's games, we've got three winter-themed games. First up is Frostpunk. It is a 2022 release. Massive cooperative survival game based on the video game of the same title. It's rated an 8.3 on Board Game Geek, which is really good. It also has a complexity rating of 4.31 out of 5, which means it's a little bit difficult. And a little known fact, this is one of our behind-the-scene judges, Randy's favorite games. Next, we've got Endless Winter, which was also released last year. It's a 7.8 on BGG, ranks 3.28 out of 5 in complexity. More of a traditional Euro worker placement game with some different scoring mechanisms like set collection, area control, a little light deck building, similar to Lost Ruins of Arnak and Dune Imperium. And finally, we've got a great winter-themed racing game that harkens back to the days of old. If old is 2008, which I guess it is in this industry. That's when it was released. It's actually a really fun racing game that's easy to integrate to anyone in the family. You're racing a dog sled, and what's kind of interesting and unique about that is you have to keep the dog sled balanced. You have two dogs that are pulling the sled, and they have different speeds. Got to keep them balanced so you don't run into the walls. It's a 7.0 on Board Game Geek. Very enjoyable as well. So I'm going to start us off. What would I do with these three games? It was actually a little bit of a tough choice for me. I did get Endless Winter played just the other night, and after playing it once, I think it's going to be my shelfer. Now, I am a traditional Euro-loving guy. I love me some worker placement, and it really fit that niche for me. And I thought it had some uniqueness to it from other worker placements that made it stand out. So that one, for now, is going to stay on my shelf. As far as play, well, this one was tough because I wanted to give Frostpunk a try, but, I have a history of just hating cooperative games. I just do, and I just can't bring myself to do it, especially one that's going to last like 4 or 5 hours, which it seems like Frostpunk tends to do. So I'm gonna trade that one away, and I'm gonna play Snowtails, which is a game I've had for years. The only reason I'm not keeping it on my shelf is I think Endless Winter is that much better. Snowtails is a fine game, but it's more lighter fare. It's more entry-level gateway, and nothing wrong with it. But that's my play shelf trade. Keith, what did you think after looking at these three?
Yeah, so I've never actually played any of these three. So I was looking into it, and I don't want to have a boring segment here, but I sort of am lining up with you. So Snowtails I've heard about for a while, and that's one that I think I could get to the table right away, especially with my family, my kids. And my wife plays games too, although she tends to like the lighter games. So that's one that I think I'd like to try right now, just based on what I've heard from it. And then putting on my shelf, I did waffle on this one a bit. I will tell you, I do not like deck building. That's like my least favorite game mechanism. I won't say I hate, but I don't like Dominion. That's the granddaddy of deck builders. But there's been games recently that have come out. You've mentioned a couple of them. I really like Lost Ruins of Arnak, that have sort of a deck building element in that. So I can take it in that sort of dosage. And I really like the whole Euro, big Euro guy. Obviously, Sam's Workshop. I'm a worker placement guy. Endless Winter, I think, is going to be going on my shelf. And then I don't hate cooperatives. I like cooperatives. We played plenty of Pandemic around here, and we've made it through 2 of the 3 Pandemic legacies. But just something about Endless Winter seemed a little much for me, although the table presence looked great. That one is one I'm going to trade away as well.
Frostpunk, yeah, okay.
Frostpunk. Yeah, Endless Winter I'm putting on my shelf. Frostpunk I'm trading away.
Well, let me tell you something. There is no need to apologize for agreeing with the smart one on the show. So we're fine. You're in good company. Now let's hear how messed up John is.
Well, I'm not too messed up, but let me tell you this: I was in that play with Andy on Endless Winter. Endless Winter, I got to get played again. After playing it once, I got to get it played again, because that's one of those games where you go into it and you're 2-3 turns in, and then the matrix starts making sense, and you're like, oh man, I want to try this again. I want to try this, and I want to try this. So Endless Winter, yeah, that's definitely my play. That's hot, and it's got to get to the table. Snowtails, I'm going to go ahead and put that one on my shelf. I have played that a few times, and it's the approachable game, the game you can pull out when a couple of family members come over and all that, and nobody's going to be intimidated by it, but it's still got a little bit to it that it makes it a real game. So Snowtails is the one that I would keep on my shelf for that kind of a situation. We haven't pulled this phrase out for a while, but Frostpunk is going to be gone like yesterday's Judas. That's what we used to say around here. But that is our yesterday's Judas this week is Frostpunk for me anyway. And the thing about it is, yeah, I know it's a good game, and I know just like these other games that I talk about, even when it's a theme or something that I don't like, if there's a lot of passion put into the production, it's going to be a good game that's going to resonate, but it's not going to get a chance with me, not at a 4-hour playtime or whatever, and co-op and blah, blah, blah. So no, sorry, Frostpunk, you're going bye-bye. Chris,
you know how hard it was for me to like not just lie because I know that our judge Randy likes it so much. I just wanted to lie and suck up for the points, but I didn't.
You just
Chris,
want to do what he always does.
Yeah, well,
exactly. Just do what you always do. Okay, so with that in mind, what you just said, like, I want to trade 2 of these games, but I have to keep one of them or play one of them.
Ouch.
All right, so I want to play Endless Winter, because I've not played it. I've heard good things. You guys had the good things. However, I was not at that game. I had something going on yesterday, and Daniel was there. He told me about it, and what I heard most about this game is instead of being called Endless Winter, it should be called Endless Setup.
Yes,
like there is a insane amount of boards and tableaus and everything that you have to do to get this game going. So that was already kind of a knock for me because I'm like, if I'm just spending a bunch of time setting up, I'm gonna play some 18xx. That takes some setup time. I'm gonna play that. But anyways, I want to play that. It looks interesting. I like the deck building mechanism, but it's funny. It's funny that you're on the show, Keith. I really wish Daniel could have been here because I could have just like right cross knocked out Daniel. Daniel likes to say that Arnak is a deck builder, but you confirmed that is not because you hate Dominion and you like Arnak. So it is not a deck builder, Daniel. I know you're going to watch this episode 5 times. I know you're going to skip over this every single time, but I don't care. The truth is out there now. So anyway, so there's that. And then, man, like Snowtails is fine. It's a fun game, fun family game, that kind of stuff. I actually do enjoy it, but it's okay. I recently was finally able to get my copy of Quest for El Dorado by the good doctor, you know. So I don't really need the light deck building. Actually, it's not deck building, but the light race game that in Snowtails is anymore. So I'm going to trade it, and because I have to shelf something, I'll shelf Frostpunk because, like everyone said, it takes a long time. It's fairly convoluted, but it is great. It is very good, but it is like, and you do have those moments that you have with a lot of co-op games that you're like, couldn't just one person play this all by themselves? You definitely feel that way while you're doing it, but they worked really hard on it. It is a good game, even if you don't have the crazy, amazing components, which Randy does. It's cool. It's great. And the game itself's fine, but like, it does take a long time. I'd much rather play a shorter co-op, but if I'm going to have to put one of these games on my shelf forever, since I don't know about Endless Winter, maybe that would end up being the shelf. But for now, I'll put Frostpunk because I do know I like it in the few times that I would actually want to take it off the shelf. So go with that.
Okay, Chris, I'm surprised you didn't say this because this is par for the course for you, and I know this is the real reason you're putting it on the shelf, and that is that it is the most valuable game.
Well, correct. Now, I would trade it. Actually, I was going to say I was going to trade Frostpunk or Endless Winter for the money, but I use that stick too often, so.
That's true.
But I'll tell you the other thing about Endless Winter is it seems like it has endless expansions, right? When I looked
up, that as well, correct. The setup's insane, and then there's all these expansions.
I looked up on Board Game Geek and I was like, wait, which one of these? And they all have a subtitle, even the main game. I was like, wait, which one is the actual main game?
Right.
So, yeah.
I had the exact same experience a few days ago when I was trying to research it. I was like, okay, I thought, because when you search it, it gives you like 10 results or whatever, and all of them was like the name : something. I'm like, well, these are all expansions. Where's the base game? And then I found out one of them was the base game.
Yes, Paleo Americans, I think, is the
it was just like, what? So,
well, you out there that are watching and listening and viewing, why don't you tell us what your play shelf trade is? We'd love to hear it in the comments.
Hey, thanks for watching a clip from Around the Board. It's a show that comes out every other Thursday where we discuss board games and board game topics. We're awarded points, and at the end, whoever wins gets to be on their soapbox and say whatever they want. So if you want to watch the full episode, find the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.